Good morning, everyone. If I look tired, I am tired, and I'm in mommy mode with a puppy, so that's what's going on. But I really want to get to this topic because I've tried to make this video several times, and I just want to get it out there. This is Pride Month, and the rainbow flags and people being prideful of who they are. Why does MAGA want to take pride away from other people? Why do they care that someone flies a rainbow flag? Why do they want to hold on to a rainbow from the Bible and not be okay with someone using that as a symbol of their pride? I think it's absolutely crazy. You know, I've seen people tell that they have told their boys, "You're a boy, you're not a girl, you're a boy, you're not a girl, you're a boy, you're a boy, you're a boy." And then you hear like President Trump, the criminal king, say that children are going to school as boys and coming home as girls, which is absolutely the most insane thing ever. I mean, that's insane. That's insanity. And it's not real. That the gay and trans people are trying to indoctrinate your children. What? You know who is indoctrinating your children? Probably you, number one, into a very cruel religion with the twist of being a white supremacist. That's cruel to children. To give them that, well, you're white, you should be proud that you're white, and demonize other people who are not like you. I mean, that's bad, right? I mean, maybe I am sleep deprived to where it's not making sense, but okay. Christians, and I'm talking MAGA Christians. MAGA Christians want to be proud. Proud, we're proud, we're proud. Well, so are other people. You can't steal pride and take pride away from other people because it doesn't fit your agenda. I think that is the most hypocritical thing ever because let me tell you something. Gay people and trans people are not after your children. Do you know that pedophiles, for the most part, are heterosexual ministers, preachers, youth group ministers? I mean, I'm just saying. Who are the pedophiles that are normally in court systems? Ministers, youth group ministers, priests, preachers. Yeah, there's lots of them in court cases right now as we speak that were a part of the MAGA regime that actually worked with Trump. And by the way, an underage girl raped by a man, that makes him a pedophile. I'm just saying that. Okay? So when you talk about pedophiles, why don't you talk about the grown men who are having sex with girls that are 14 to 17? That's a pedophile. That's who's grooming your children. They're grooming your daughters and sometimes your sons to have sex with them while they claim to be the MAGA Christian person. Taking pride away from people, I think, is absolutely absurd. I would denounce, when I hear this, that I got these bugs on me. I think it's a deer fly and they hurt. But anyway, when you hear someone say, "Well, I would tell my boy that he is no longer welcomed here if he wanted to wear women's clothing." What? Why would you say that? Why can't you be proud of that child? Maybe they have a great college education, maybe they have a wonderful job, and you're going to take that away and not allow them in your house because they wear a dress. That drives me absolutely insane. Be proud of your children. Protect your children from those who you're actually sending them to as sending your children to slaughter. Just saying. Taking pride away from a group of people is it's judgy. And from what I know, God is the ultimate judge according to the Christianity that I grew up in. I have no right to judge anybody, right? But we do. I'm judging MAGA right now. You all are white Christian nationalists. You are control freaks, and you want to make everybody think like you. And let me give you an example of how hypocritical that is. During COVID, I wore a mask because number one, I didn't want to give anything to anybody and I didn't want to receive anything from anybody. But you all were sitting back going, I'm not wearing a mask. So you didn't care about anybody but yourself. But now you're ready to take away the rights of other people. Okay? I'm just saying. You all wanted the choice to not have to get the jab. Well, I want the choice to get the jab, but you all want to take that away from me. You want to just take away vaccinations. What is wrong with you? If you have animals, are you vaccinating them? I hope you are, because it is the law to get rabies vaccinations. I'm just saying. So, what's wrong with getting a vaccination against a disease that can harm you, or if you get, can harm other people? See, that's what I don't understand. I couldn't be proud if I was not vaccinated and I gave a disease to someone, such as a child or an elderly person, and they died because of my stubbornness and just wanting the right to not have to get a vaccine. It makes me sick. I don't understand any of this, really. Now, let's talk about the Proud Boys. I watched a comedian, Cliff Cash, I think is his name, and he was talking about the Proud Boys. I believe that is the strangest name for a white supremacist group that I've ever seen, ever. They're proud and they're boys. Why not be the gung ho macho men or something? Instead, you're the Proud Boys. That sounds really gay. Just saying. So, to the MAGA Christians out there that want to take rights from other people, take pride away from other people, y'all are just the biggest hypocrites I've ever seen in my entire life. You all said you wanted less government. You don't want to be told what kind of stove or washing machine or dryer or car to buy, which you don't have to. We still have all of those choices. We had all of those choices when you were saying, oh, my rights, oh, my rights, when you are actually for taking rights away from other people to be who they are and to be proud of who they are. You're taking those rights away. I've heard MAGA parents say, well, if my boy came here with a dress on, he can hit the road. That's your child. How could you turn your child away because they're gay? I just simply do not understand that. It's still your child wanting your acceptance, and you're going to shun them. I don't get that. And the fact of the matter is the gays and trans are not after your children. Look to your church elders who are going through court cases right now of pedophilia. Those who are grooming your children, whether they're grooming your little boys or they're grooming your little girls, they're sitting in courtrooms having to testify about being a pedophile themselves while being MAGA church people. Stop trying to take pride away from people. Stop trying to marginalize people and demonize people because they do not believe the way you do. Have pride in yourself, but don't take pride away from other people. You know, I'm very proud of my little garden this year. But there are some people who say, "Well, you're a prepper. You should have a bigger garden this year and you should be canning and so on and so forth." Well, it just so happens that I'm a couponer and I know how to buy food on sale. So that's covered. But I do love my little garden and I'm proud of it. Don't take my pride away from me about my little garden. You know, I remember in school how hard it was because when I was in um, high school, middle school, that's when AIDS was a major problem. And there was a lot of gay bashing going on then. And I think that's when a lot of laws really came into effect, about how to treat people. And you couldn't discriminate because of that. That's how I grew up. You know, you had George Michaels, who was the hottest guy. Are you kidding me? Everybody was in love with him, right? Him and Rick Springfield. Those are my two. But George Michaels was gay. I still I still had a crush on him. I didn't care what he was doing. I loved his music and Wham, and then when he went to his singles, I didn't judge him. He had a great voice. I was proud. He was proud. I don't get it. You've got a pedophile sitting in the Oval Office. Just saying. And when I say pedophile, when you get accused of sleeping with a very young girl over and over, and there's more, and we're going through these Epstein files, and why do you think they're not releasing them? Because Donald Trump is a pedophile in those files. He's been on the call list, the flight list, on video, checking out the girls. There was a girl who talked about her experience with Donald Trump. There's your pedophile. That's who you need not be proud of. But you're proud to hell of him. You're proud of your vote for him. Do you see how hypocritical that is? I'm just saying. Your ministers, they're pedophiles. Your president is a pedophile. And you want to take pride away from those who are not pedophiles. They're just not like you. I hope all that made sense. I have a lot to do. You all have a great day. Hugs from a distance. Um, I have another video, the Kroger ad review. There's some great sales on it. So make sure you watch it. Serious. There's like a 2-day sale that's great. So I'll get to that later. Y'all have a great day. Be prideful of who you are, but don't ever take pride away from someone else. Because they're just wanting to live and be happy. Why is it so hard for people to want people to be happy and to be prideful? That's a question that will they ever answer? No. Y'all have a great day. Hugs from a distance. Bye, y'all.